They're starting again.
Would you like to take the oath on the Bible or by affirmation?
Affirmation. I don't believe in God anymore. Well, you'll notice that I no longer have anyone representing me. I told my lawyer that I was going to take the stand and say to you, yes, I did it, and here's why. And she said if I did that, she'd quit. And she has. Yes, I did it. And here's why.
So we're going to shift probably about 5 plates. Forward, reverse, right? There's no brakes, so you reverse to lose speed, right? Dave! Yeah, 2 minutes. Big red button cuts the power. Up, down. Now it's going to raise by about 10 to 15.
I need you
You've
now!
got this and that round there. 10 minutes practice, you start order picking, right?
Yes, but one at a time, please. Now, how old do you think the solar system is? Tegan?
Really old, like 156 million years, miss.
Good guess, Tegan. But it's much, much older. It's 4.6 billion years old. So if you think that human life has been around for about 200,000 years, and we live to be, say, 75 years of age, well, that's not much, is it? Compared to the age of the solar system. If it's an answer, okay.
Hey, it's Rob. Leave a message.
Siobhan's eating your sandwiches. What's the point of making them if you're always going to leave them? I'm not stupid, you know. I know you do it on purpose. Don't just eat chips. And he's not answered. Should have been back for 6. Have you got a number for Michael? Can I call you back in a minute? I hid. Don't ask me why, but I hid. I'm out of view, they're out of view. Maybe they're next door. Nothing to do with me, nothing to do with Rob. It's next door. As long as the bell doesn't ring. Please, God, do not let that bell ring.
Bloody hell, we're in extra time. Helen.
Mrs. Ryland. Are you in on your own?
Frank? Frank!
What is it?
Can we come in?
Come in.
We've come to inform you that your son, Robert, was fatally injured at Maxfield's Wholesalers this morning.
Injured? Where is he? Is he in the hospital?
Helen is dead. What happened?
I'm afraid we don't have any more information. You'll have to call the station for more details. If you ring this number and quote this reference, you'll need to phone the coroner's office in the morning. There's no point in doing it now. There'll be nobody there.
Hello, can I help you?
Yes, two officers have just been, and they told me that my son has been killed, and they said I should,
Have you got the reference number there?
Yes, DOA 9461.
Just hold on a minute, please. Sorry about the wait, Mrs. Ryland. According to the paperwork, your son's body is being held at Failsworth General.
Mum's here. You did a post-mortem?
Yes.
Did you use anything?
Sorry?
Did you use any of his organs?
No, I promise you, we didn't take anything. He's...
Is it too late now? Because he wanted to be a donor, you see, in the event of something like this, he wanted his organs used.
It is too late. I'm sorry. We needed to know at the time of death.
But nobody told us he was dead.
You cope your way, I'll cope mine.
You're Rob's mother.
Helen.
Alan. Alan Maxfield. Good to meet you.
Yeah, and you. This is his dad, Frank.
How do you do? Dave Price, General Foreman. This is Stephen Simpson. Right. Shall we? I spoke to Rob and his mate.
Michael.
Michael, yeah. Good lads. I said to Dave here, how come two lads like that are doing agency work when we've got full-time? There's not a patch on them. It was a credit to you. Credit to you both.
Thanks.
It was here. He hit that section, the whole lot came down.
How?
Yeah, he lost control of the truck. I'd just like to say that if there's anything we can do, we'll do it. It's just that nothing like this has ever happened to us before, you see. We put the welfare of the workers above everything else. The boy he was with... sorry. Michael will tell you that they did all the health and safety stuff, and they did it conscientiously. But if there's any problems or questions, please shout.
Thanks.
Did you have a question?
Did he suffer?
No. From what I've heard, it was almost instantaneous. I'll walk back with Frank and Al.
Is Michael in?
No, he's at work.
Well, can I come in? Please.
Sorry about me.
Oh, no. Did Michael say what?
Brian, what is that you've got in your mouth? No, take it out of your mouth. That's dirty. What have I said about putting things in your mouth?
Where's the dog?
Oh, he ain't got one. Sign's just to keep smackheads at bay. I think Michael's probably just popped into his mum's. I have no idea how long he's going to be before he gets... Say hello to Daddy. Come here, sweetheart. Oh. Here you go.
agency still getting you work?
Brenda didn't want to go to nurseries today. Kicked up a real fuss. Felt really bad.
Lucky enough to get a full-time job.
Michael, you were there. You were with him. Did he suffer? Are you sure? You see, I've arranged my son's funeral for next Thursday, and I've been told to cancel it because I haven't got Alan Maxfield's permission. It's Angela, isn't it? Well, that is my problem, Angela. I need your boss's permission to bury my son. That's my problem. I'll do it.
I need a shot.
Just leave the bloody thing alone, for God's sake.
Shot.
Well, yeah, have you got a mobile number for him, please? I'm coming round. Just try not to burn the place down.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Alan's out on business, or he'll be talking to himself.
I've been waiting 11 days for permission to bury my son. 11 days. I can't believe for a moment that Alan Maxfield knows about this, because he would not treat a grieving mother in such an appalling fashion. So please, bring him here.
I can't.
Right. I'll wait.
Helen, I am so sorry. I knew absolutely nothing about this. I'm going to get onto everybody right away, and it'll all go ahead on Thursday as planned.
My fault.
Absolutely fuming about this, Helen. It should never have happened. I'm so sorry.
All my fault. I objected without consulting Alan.
You objected?
Yes.
Sorry to be rude. I don't mean to be rude, but what's my son's funeral got to do with you?
I'm Alan's lawyer.
Michael!
Hi.
You're working here?
Yeah.
Permanent?
Yeah. Well, 6 months probation and then permanent, yeah.
He said you impressed him. You both impressed him.
Did it?
Funeral's Thursday. 2 o'clock.
Right.
You'll be there.
I can't make it.
What?
I'm working, aren't I?
You'll get time off. You died in there, Michael. They'll give you time off.
I'm sorry.
You You are his friend, Michael. So, ring me. Please.
Lads, I served my time. We stuck together.
I need you to come with me tomorrow.
We should have let him join the Navy. He'll learn a trade in the Navy. Talk about ironic. Keeping him out of the armed forces because it's too dangerous and send him
You
to...
blaming me?
No.
You are. I made him go to that place, so you're blaming me?
I'm not.
I'm going to the police station tomorrow. But I don't want to go there on my own. Will you come with me, please?
You're wasting your
Will
time.
you come with me, please?
It's a health and safety issue, really, so, yes, it's just me.
Did you look at the CCTV film?
No.
No.
The cameras weren't working that day.
What? They told you that?
Yes.
And you believed them?
Well, why not?
For God's sake. You prick. Sorry.
He was with his friend, Michael. He must have seen everything.
Yes, we got a statement from him.
Oh.
It absolves the company of all blame. He says it was all your son's fault, Mrs. Ryland.
I know something stinks. CCTV cameras not working. Alan Maxfield frightened to open his mouth unless his lawyer's there. Michael too ashamed to look me in the eye. You're only here so you can say I even attended the boy's funeral, Your Honour.
I swear that's not why I'm here.
You lied to me. You told me he didn't suffer. Michael lied too, but he lied for good reasons. But you lied for bad reasons, for money reasons or legal reasons or God knows what reasons. So please go. I was run over once when I was a kid, and I lay there for a couple of minutes wondering if I was dead. And then someone tried to move me, and the pain came flooding in. That's what it was like when I realised that Rob's death was suspicious. Everything hurt, but I was alive again. But not Frank. He saw no good in such pain. He wanted it numbed with booze.
Hey, can you just leave there? I'll clean it up before we come to bed.
It stinks. If I don't do it now, it'll still be here in the morning.
Look, I'll sort it. I'm capable of moving an ashtray. Yes. Have you drunk over this? Yes. And don't even think about bollocking me, Helen. Today of all days. Don't you even think about it, because I've got a few home truths for you.
Oh, I'm listening.
It's about time you had a few home truths.
I'm listening.
First, nobody gives a shit that Rob's dead. Nobody gives a shit. So you can shove your decorum up your arse, shove your dignity up your arse, because nobody gives a shit. Secondly, I'm sick of you. Looking down your nose at me! I'm sick of you treating me like a child! What you see here is grief! This is the acceptance of grief. A mature and adult acceptance of grief.
Adult?
That's not what I see when I look at you. Do you know what I see when I look at you? I see a woman running around like a blue-ass fly because she's too scared and too bloody immature to face the fact that our son is dead. Robbie is dead!
You're immature, you're a big
and
kid!
all of this Sherlock Holmes
Since when has
stuff,
binge
this detective shite.
Since when has binge drinking been an answer to anything?
No. You listen to me. It's about time I did a bit of spouting, a bit of pontificating.
You're drunk.
Yeah, well,
Sometimes, when an ape dies, the other animals withdraw and stare into space. They refuse to interact with each other. We were worse than apes. We turned on each other.
You talk about grief. You don't know what grief is because you're too subtle to feel it.
Sorry. All those things we did with him before he was, say, 5. I resented them. I knew he'd never remember them, see. But after 5, traipsing around Norton Towers, Disney, fishing, footy. He'd remember them. And 50, 60 years after us going, he'd still remember them. But he's gone before us. And so have those memories. And I feel so cheated.
Sing to me. Sing to me.
Oh, you are a lucky kid. Your face just like a dustbin lid. When he hears the things that you did, you get a belt from your dad.
This is an inquest into the death of Robert Ryland. Now, this might be a little confusing to you, but I'm opening and adjourning this inquest because the Crown Prosecution Service might bring a manslaughter charge in connection with Robert's death. And they might not, of course. We'll reopen when they've decided.
Good morning, Fire.
Good morning, miss.
Now, if you could all get out your planners and turn to the week starting June.
Miss?
Yes, dear.
Miss, we got you something. The class, we all got it. It's to plant for your son. It's an oak tree, so it lasts a long time. Is that all right, miss?
Right, now, so if you could all get out your planners.
But the Crown Prosecution Service is not going to bring charges.
And that's it?
Yes, I'm sorry.
So my son is killed, and no one held to account. No one asked to explain. Would you accept that? Michael.
Sorry. I don't know anything. I'm sorry. She sat down. She sat down. Tell her to go.
If that had been you.
Do you want to move?
If it was me that had been left like that.
You're always going on a minute. You're
If it
desperate
was
to get out of this
your mum,
dump.
If it was your mother that was left out there, would you leave
Do you
her out
not
there?
mind to be the only kid that gets walked to school in the morning?
You
All the other moms
can't
are too out
leave
with it.
her in limbo because it's cruel.
Too often,
No, it's
not
very
the
thing.
bloody kids to school. I don't want that. And this is the price we pay. You don't want to stay here, do you? No. If we want Ryan to go to a decent school in a decent area, this is what it costs.
There's a lot of things, Michael, but you're not cruel.
Will you help me, Michael?
I've never had a job. Not a proper one with regular money and that. We need to get out of that house. We've been robbed twice this year. I'm ashamed of what I did, but I did it for Leanne and I did it for Ryan. On the day Rob died, Alan Maxfield offered me a permanent contract. All I had to say was we'd been trained to use that forklift truck. But we weren't. We had a 5-minute demonstration. That's all, and that's not training. And I said in my statement that we'd had a full health and safety rundown, but we hadn't.
We could use Michael's statement to go for review. A review of the decision not to prosecute. But it's risky and expensive. Your cost could be 15 grand.
15 grand?
And if we lose, then...
We won't lose.
15 grand.
But if we did, you'd have to pay the other side's costs too. Could you manage that?
And if we win, they prosecute Alan Maxfield.
15 grand?
Yes.
We'll get a second mortgage.
We can't afford a first one. Never mind a second mortgage.
You can.
We can't.
We'll leave you to talk.
No. You're leaving her to talk. You're leaving me to listen.
Frank.
What are you doing this for anyway? It's not for Rob. It's not going to bring him back.
Oh, I know.
And do you think that he would want this? Do you think he would want us to get up to our eyes in debt just for you to prove a point?
How dare you?
Well, this is the fitted kitchen moment, isn't it? Man slices his dick off at work. Surgeon says you're going to get 40 grand comp. You can get 4-inch penis for 20 grand. You can get the 6-inch for 30. You can get the big 8-inch penis for the full 40. He says he fancies the 8-inch, but his wife's there. So the surgeon says, just as our lawyer has, I'll leave you to talk. 5 minutes later, the surgeon comes back. You've made up your mind what you're having. The man nods. We're having a fitted kitchen.
I'm afraid we won't reach a decision today. But we'll meet again tomorrow.
What are you doing?
Oxfam.
Are you down?
When did you last play cricket? You don't play anything anymore. You don't do anything anymore. You just sit in front of the telly and drink and smoke and rot.
Thank you for your patience. I realise we've been deliberating for what may seem an inordinate amount of time, but we felt it was crucial to give this case proper consideration. However, Michael Lang did not seem to us to be a sufficiently believable witness. In view of this, we feel a successful prosecution would be very difficult. With this in mind, we uphold the Crown Prosecution Service's decision not to prosecute.
It's a fucker. Tonight I'm getting you pissed and laid.
I've been married 20 years.
Well, you'll be used to doing it in that order then. Beer and tequila.
Oh, I'm only staying an hour, Siobhan.
Ah, you're not. Last night, my tight bastard of a husband says to me, "Get your coat." I says, "Why, where are you taking me?" He says, "Nowhere, I'm turning the bloody leggy off. So if you go, I'll have to go too, so come on." Like there's no fucking tomorrow.
So go and make up your big little pussycat mind.
Oh, I've got me mate back. We're having another.
No.
Aye. Did you manage it, John?
Come on,
come on! Come on! Right, well, I'll just do my own version. Right. A pair of knickers with a stain between them. A spot of petrol where you try to clean them.
You might remember that last time we met, I adjourned the inquest into Robert Ryland's death pending the Crown Prosecution Service's decision on whether or not to prosecute. That matter is now settled, and so I'm now reopening this inquest. I'd like to hear from the family first. Mrs. Ryland, would that be agreeable to you?
Time and time again, the law had failed us, but I clung to the idea that the inquest would right everything, that the truth would come out, that Alan Maxfield would be held responsible for my son's death. All those courtrooms, all those knockbacks, but I still had hope. I was like a battered wife, getting hurt, but thinking, one last go. This time, it'll be different.
Did Robert go out the night before he died?
There was a match on Sky. He watched it in the pub.
Where he had several drinks?
He didn't come home drunk. So if you're trying to infer that Rob was drunk the next morning, forget it. He went out with a tenner that I gave him, and he came back with £5.40, having spent £4.60 on 2 pints of lager. I know this because there was £5.40 in the plastic bag, along with his phone and his wallet and his other... effects.
Michael Lang is mistaken. Both boys were given detailed instructions on operating the forklift, and they had 2 or 3 hours training. Now, whether they listened, whether they paid enough attention, or... I know that when they were outside the office, Ryland seemed to be cracking jokes all the time. The door was open. I found it distracting.
I'd just like to express my deepest sympathies. I know how hard it must be for you, but I hope this verdict helps. The verdict is accidental death. I hope you find some comfort from the fact that nobody was to blame for your son's death.
Accidental death. Blood drains. You hear people say that all the time. The blood drained from him. Well, when you get told that your son is dead, the blood really does drain. You can feel it drain. You feel your veins widen and the blood just drops. And it drained again when the coroner said no one was responsible for my son's death. Someone was to blame. Alan Maxfield. Have you ever been to Ibiza? The Carthaginians founded it, lived there till the Romans wiped them out. Then the Arabs settled there for 500 years, until the Catalans laid siege, tore down the mosques and built churches.
How did you get in?
Then the Bohemians arrived in the 60s and 70s and turned it into a party island. Rob was saving up to go there.
How did you get in here?
His swipe card. It was in the plastic bag. Another of his effects. All his mates knew about Ibiza was clubbing, but, Rob was different. I mean, yes, he'd stay up all night dancing, but next day he'd be wandering around the house with a book in his hand. And after he died, I found this book on Ibiza beside his bed.
What do you want, Mrs. Ryland?
I want you to say that you're sorry Rob never got to Ibiza. That he never made his 21st. Or even finished his book. Say he didn't need to die in your warehouse. That you coated him in so much shit. There was none left to stick to you. I want you to say that you are sorry for all that. And when you have, I'll go away and get on with my life.
It was an accident.
There's no one here but me and you. It's just between us. I need to hear it. Just say, I'm sorry. I mean, people say it all the time. They bump into each other in supermarkets and they say it automatically, instinctively. I'm sorry. Even when it's not their fault. I'm sorry!
My lawyer won't let me. Do you know who killed your son? Shall I tell you who killed your son, you stupid bitch? A billion Chinese, 500 million Indians, all working for £1 a day. I'm paying 50 a day and I'm supposed to compete! That's who killed your son, you stupid mad bitch!
When you lose someone you love, it hurts. Of course it hurts. But imagine losing them over and over. Every time the law let me down, Rob died again. There's only so many times you can take that. I teach. I'm used to being lied to. But the difference between Alan Maxfield and a child is that when you confront a 9-year-old child with the fact that they're lying, they own up. They say sorry. And when you've lost your child, an apology isn't all that much to ask. I wouldn't be here talking to you now if Alan Maxfield had just said sorry. My lawyer said that saying all this to you was stupid, that you'd throw the book at me. Well, fine, throw that book. The law's hit me so many times, I'm numb. I won't feel it. To hell with the law. Yes. I can speak to you like this because I've learned so much. I'm an expert. I've paid the highest tuition fees in the world, you see. The death of my son. When you go away and consider what I've done, I'm asking you to reach a verdict based not on law, but on something I've been thirsting for. Something that Rob deserved and never got. Something I'm frightened may no longer exist. Justice. I'm asking you to give me justice.
However sympathetic you may feel, Helen Ryland stands accused of a very serious crime. What's going on here? Who are you, please?
Frank Ryland, husband of the accused. And yes, this is to show my contempt for this court, my contempt for any court, my contempt for anything to do with the law.
Officer Ryland.
My wife said that the law was a joke, and I argued, but not because I thought that she was wrong, but because I didn't have her courage. If I'd have the guts she has, it'd be me and that dog. Sorry.
Mr. Ryland, have you finished? I'm going to call an officer of the court, and I'll deal with you when this case is finished. Do you understand?
Yes.
By her own admission, she set fire to that warehouse and showed a total disregard for human life. Now, I'm not going to direct you to return a guilty...
Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? You've been out riding fences for so long now. Oh, you're a hard one. I know that you've got your reasons. These things that are pleasing you can hurt you somehow. Don't you draw the Queen of Diamonds, boy. She'll hit you if she's able. You know the Queen of Hearts.
Jury's coming back.
Members of the jury, are you agreed upon a verdict?
We are.
Do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty of arson and willful destruction of property?
Not guilty.
And is that the verdict of you all?
Yes, it's unanimous.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Guilty.
I'm not guilty.
What?
Not guilty.